the Ram. So I've got this more clearance than that. We will be in Moab. We're going to Missouri after. Welcome to Geeks 4x4, home of the Bobbed Excursion. And today we are going to put a Redneck Ram on the Bobbed Excursion. I hope that this solves my turning problems because turning 40s with now lockers is going to be a real problem. So anyway, let's get straight into this video. I'm going to show you guys where exactly I put the Ram on my Dana 60 coil swapped Excursion. That's pretty stock height, so there's not a ton of room. It was kind of hard to find a spot. Let's get right into that. All right, so let's start out with what comes in the box from Redneck Ram and go through what everything does and needs to do. We've got a nice install instruction setup, which is great. We've got a couple of stickers, one of them for the Ram, another one for your toolbox. So those are the paper goods. Got the hoses, super nice hoses with a nice coating on them so that they're nice and protected. One side has a 90 on it, the other side has a straight fitting. Both hoses are identical. Comes with two 90s to go on the Ram. Comes with two bolts for the ends of the Ram. Comes with two heim joints for the ends of the Ram. And then it comes with 4 tabs. I just bought this kit for just the Ram, and then here's the Ram itself. We've got a couple of nuts on this heim here I wanted to talk about because I started taking it apart, and I said, oh, where does all this stuff go? So one nut is your lock nut for this joint, which goes on this side of the Ram. So spin that on down there. You're going to put this joint on the Ram, and it doesn't spin as nicely as the other one did. That would yeah. Now it's going to take forever. Cue the Benny Hill music, and there we go. Okay, then we've got 4 washers that are under here, and I'm trying to figure out where they went. The washers are for the end bolts, so they don't mind the jingling. So they fit on these bolts right here. They're going to put them on here. And these bolts are for going through your tabs and your heims. So put the washers in on these bolts so that you don't forget to put them somewhere else. And now you're all set up. Put this one back on there. This is your jam nut for this end to lock this one in place. And then this end goes in to this side. And that is how you put together the Ram on the bench. So next, I'm going to go underneath the truck and figure out where to put this Ram in. Well, first thing I need to do is get it jacked up on the axle so that everything moves really freely. It even talks about removing the drag link on their website and things, so I might do that. Then I can just move the wheels really freely and figure out where I'm going to put this thing. There's not a lot of room on a non-lifted stock setup kind of Dana 60 on an Excursion. So I don't know anything about this. I am not an expert in any way, shape, or form. I did a ton of video searching, YouTube searching, Google searching. There's really not a lot of information about how to mount a Ram. So I'm trying to make a video to give you guys some ideas on how to mount a Ram. But I'm not an expert. I've never done it before. So learn how to mount a Ram from a guy who's never mounted a Ram before. All right, here we go. Here is what I came up with. I came up with this use of the sway bar tab mount. I liked it because it was mild steel, and I just kind of cut tabs, and then that's going to go on the tie rod right there. Clears the diff cover, plenty of room there it seems like, and clears the tie rod. The tie rod actually goes up. So I just cut some little holes in the tabs, then tacked it in place here. So now we've got it tacked to the one side and sitting on the tie rod. Alrighty, so I've got this thing tacked in now to, this is a Barnes 4-wheel drive clamp. I'm gonna put welds, a little bit of tack so it can't slide in the end, but for now, got everything tacked together. And it clears both directions. Now what I'm doing, because this thing's so low, I've measured everything. All this looks right, but I am going to make sure that I don't hit on this when I'm at bump. And so I'm going to pull the springs back out, take the tires. Well, I don't know if I'll take the tires off. I just need to move the suspension and cycle it, make sure everything is clear at all articulation and everything like that. But side-to-side motion right now at this height, at ride height, is perfect. So hopefully it continues to be good. So here's what we got. That's with this up at full bump on this side here. So it's just about perfect. I actually could lower it down just a hair because it's straight up bump when both tires go up at the exact same time up to full stuff. It does rub a tiny bit on the track bar. So I'm trying to decide if I should pull it down or not. Well, I think I would like more clearance than this, but this is about what I've got the ability to give myself. I've got, I don't know, an eighth over here, maybe a quarter. And then I don't have this rolled out yet. I gotta roll this out just a hair to make sure that it is completely parallel to this bar, but it feels pretty parallel. So I don't know, it's pretty close. That's at full bump with both tires up. So it's really not something that is going to happen all the time, but if it does, it's gonna be a hard hit. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see if this is enough. I guess I could try again to move it down just a little bit more. I've moved it down a bunch, but I'm getting close to the tie rod is what I'm worried about. So we're just rolling along here. All right, so I've got all this welded into this. This is a cool piece to weld to because it's actually metal, not cast. Sorry, it's just regular mild steel, not cast. Made some little CAD designs here. Yeah, that's cardboard aided design. Luckily, the box came with plenty, and we're gonna do a little bit of bracing to finish this off here. So there's gonna be a piece of metal there and a piece of metal across the top. I can't just get it to stay there like that-ish. So we're gonna brace it to the side of the sway bar mount. That should be plenty for this, I think. I don't really know. But here's what I came up with for the mount. Yesterday you saw that I just had this and I kind of boxed it. Well, I noticed it was moving just a little bit and I wanted to fix that. So I laid another piece, 3/16 in here, welded it to the C, welded it all the way along so that it's bracing this thing from doing this. So now it's got the brace of the sway bar mount and everything. This thing should be solid as heck. I am super impressed with the Redneck Ram product. All their fittings, all their everything, these really nice hoses. This thing's gonna be awesome. I am super stoked, so I would definitely recommend them. I'll put a link down in the description. That's how I put a Ram on my Ford Dana 60. I'm sure I did a lot of stuff wrong because I've never put a Ram on before. I'm pretty happy with the way that this thing came out. It clears everything. I got a little bit of room over the diff cover because you can sell that is still a stock diff cover. So I've got it, probably gonna get a Yukon diff cover for this thing here soon when I can afford it. For now, gave myself some room so that I could fit it. Biggest thing was keeping that rim parallel with the tie rod. That's the biggest thing that Justin at Redneck Ram kept telling me, and so I kept reminding myself that when I worked on it. Took me about 8 hours yesterday, and I did a little bit more on the bracing at the end to get everything fully done with lunch in the middle and stuff. Just took my time and put this thing together really nicely. So I'm super happy with it, super impressed with the product. Now I gotta go for a drive and see what happens. So far, looks good. So I am super stoked about the way that this thing came out. The way that this thing works is insane, guys. This is still the stock pump. This is a RedHead box and stock steering fluid, everything like that, but Redneck Ram to make it awesome. As you could tell from the video, the one finger turn with a 40 on cement is insane. I am so stoked about it, and I really, really like the way it came out. Shout out to Redneck Ram for all of your help. Justin at Redneck Ram is the guy to talk to. He is so smart when it comes to all this, and he'll give you so many tips. I was worried about putting this in, honestly. This is something I had never done. I thought it was going to be really difficult, and, you know, taking my time and just kind of thinking through everything, and it came together really, really nicely. So don't be afraid of this. Don't be afraid to move it around and put it in different places and get this thing to where it's going to work awesome. As I've driven this thing more, it is crazy how tight the steering feels now, because every time you touch the steering wheel, the Ram is moving. So it's super tight. It's crazy. But it's definitely able to get used to, and driving down the road is just fine now. Ball joint deletes and a Ram. Things they say are not great for driving down the road, but it drives awesome still. No hands on the steering wheel, 70 miles an hour. It's awesome. That is it for this. This thing is almost ready for Moab, guys. If you didn't know, we will be in Moab the week of April 13th through the 19th. We're going to be doing a ride. I think it's the 17th. It's Thursday. We're going to be doing fins and things. Going to be meeting at Milt's at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I think it's 9:30. I made an event on Facebook, and we're going to go do fins and things if you want to come wheel with the Bob excursion. But if you're in town the whole week and you want to say hi, or you're in town the beginning of the week and you want to say hi, shoot me a message. I would love to meet you guys and, show you the dumb truck I built. The other thing is we're going to Missouri afterwards, so be on the lookout if you're in Missouri for a meetup, possibly in the Ozarks. We're talking about one of the state parks down there, and I can't think of the name of it right now. Echo Ridge? Echo something. Be on the lookout for that. Instagram, YouTube, I'll talk about it. Facebook, we'll see all that too. So if you're around between Missouri and Utah right now, and next couple weeks, we're going to be driving through all that. I'm going to be trying to do some things where I get to meet some of you guys. Hopefully the excursion makes it all the way. Anyway, we will see you guys next time.